Well, hello, Central. I am sharing the daily for the week, and we are in the middle of Holy Week, and we are excited to share these daily messages with you. Today, we really wanted to focus on the reflection of Holy Week and what it looks like and how it feels to all of us. I don't know about you, but I am hearing a lot of friends and family members and even Central members who are talking about and are concerned and saddened and disappointed that Easter and Holy Week are here, but it just doesn't feel the same this year, and it won't. It's not normal, and it's not going to be filled with the traditions that we all love. I hear that word a lot right now, normal. Do you hear it too? I think we all desire and are hungry for normal. So we are all sad and disappointed that our Easter Sunday will not be filled with our traditions and the things that we love about Easter Sunday. Think about it for a moment. What are some of the things that you absolutely love about Easter Sunday? For myself, I love going to church and seeing the matching bow ties and neckties that dads and their sons are wearing, or the fluffy dresses that all the little girls are wearing. I love the smell of Easter flowers and the feel that spring has in that day, even if outside in Minnesota often there is still snow on the ground, but not this year. I love the music and sharing worship with the crowds of people that rush to their favorite pews. I love the smell of ham in the oven when I get home from church, and I love eating on my fancy meal with my fancy grandma's dishes that I was blessed to receive. And I love eating Debbie Bosshart's Bunny Butt cupcakes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I would love for you to check them out because they are adorable. I love all of the pomp and circumstance that goes with this day, and to me, that feels normal. So when people say to me, I just want Easter to be normal, I can share empathy with them and I feel their pain. But this year, in this COVID-19 experience that we're all journeying through, two thoughts come to my mind in my response to normality and our desire for it. My first thought for myself and for others is to embrace it and to acknowledge the mourning of all of it. Because if we don't, that pain and sadness may seep into our daily lives and in our actions towards people or in our work and really in everything that we do. And if we do this, if we embrace it and acknowledge it, we then give ourselves opportunities to process the mourning that we're feeling and to think through what we have been dealt with this time in our lives and in history, which is really good and it's positive and it's healthy. The second thought that I have regarding to the desire to have a normal Easter is that nothing about the first Easter was normal. In fact, nothing about Holy Week was normal if you really think about it. The king entered the city of Jerusalem one day, being praised and treated like royalty, and then a week later he is beaten, abused, and he is put to death. And every day in between those 7 days was unlike any other day Jesus had experienced in his ministry work. Let me explain a little bit more. So let's start back at Palm Sunday. This is the day that Jesus entered Jerusalem, and on a donkey, not a chariot as most kings of those times would have been, and he surely wasn't carried by slaves or soldiers. He came in on a donkey. And then the next day, that Monday, he walked through and cursed a fig tree for not bearing fruit, and he turned over tables in the temple because of the corruption that he was witnessing. Both of these were out of character and very abnormal, right? On that Tuesday of Holy Week, we believe that this is the day that Judas started to make a deal with the authorities to turn Jesus over in exchange for some coins, and the religious leaders began to set up a plan to ambush Jesus for his actions. On Wednesday of this week, the Bible doesn't really tell us much of what has happened, so we assume that this was a day of rest for Jesus. But then comes Thursday, a day when Holy Week takes a somber turn. This is the day when Jesus washed the feet of his disciples. It is the day that he established the Lord's Supper or communion, instructing his followers, you and I, to continually remember his sacrifices by sharing in these elements of bread and wine. This is the day when he told his disciples how his death would play out, and there was nothing that they could do about that. Jesus was betrayed on this day with a kiss by Judas. He was arrested, and he was denied 3 times by his friend Peter, which Jesus had predicted would happen. What about any of this is normal? But then comes Good Friday, a day when Jesus endured the shame and false accusations, mockery and beatings, and he was rejected. And after multiple unlawful trials, he was sentenced to death by crucifixion, which was not unheard of at this time, but one of the most horrible and disgraceful methods of capital punishment known to mankind. And yet, before his last breath, he shared forgiveness, words not shared or even considered to be normal from one who was unfairly sentenced to death. And then came Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday. The most important abnormal event of the Christian faith took place. The stone was rolled away, the body was gone, and Jesus made 5 appearances to men and women according to the book of Mark. And guess what? He rose and there was nothing. There was no Easter lilies, no ham in the oven, no fluffy dresses or bow ties, no pomp and circumstance that we call normal. Just Jesus offering us an incredible, abnormal gift that no other king could ever give us, which as we believers feels pretty normal beyond words. Amen. So as I reflect each day this week and I seek for some sort of normalcy, I find great peace and comfort knowing that this year is going to look very different from past years, but perhaps my focus will be where it's supposed to be, on him and the sacrifices that he made for me and for you. Will I still participate in some of the splendor that comes with Easter morning? You bet I will, and I encourage you to do the same. We ask you to wear your fancy clothes and cook that ham and eat those bunny butt cupcakes that we love and enjoy time with your family over FaceTime or Zoom or calling them or sending text messages because Jesus deserves it. And even if the world around us has changed, the Easter story will never change. Jesus was resurrected for us. He loves us, and he has incredible plans for all of our lives. And because of that, friends, God deserves all of our pomp and circumstance. So Central, as you reflect daily through the rest of this week, know that God is with you in these abnormal days. And we at Central love you, we are praying for you, and we miss seeing your smiling faces. Have a great day. Blessings.